When is the last time that you saw a commercial, a really good commercial with a catchy jingle that made you want to go out and buy the product? I haven't seen one of those commercials since I was quite young. They just don't make them like they used to. Have you ever seen a commercial that absolutely convinced you that you had to have that particular product? There were some commercials that just had really good theme songs and the jingle was just jingling. I think about it, there are two commercials that come to mind. The first one was for a breakfast sausage, believe it or not, that was popular in the South. And I don't know if it was the lady's Southern accent or the cowbell that I think I heard in the background. That commercial stuck with me. Like to hear? Here go. Come and get more flavor, Rudy's Farm. Come and get more flavor, Rudy's Farm. Come get a taste so pleasing. More flavor is the reason. Come and get more flavor. Rudy's Farm, sausage and biscuits. I don't know what it is about that particular commercial, but when I heard it, I just was convinced that they had the best breakfast sausage in the South. And so when my mom would take us to the grocery store, I insisted that we got that particular brand. So that clever marketing worked. Marketing is the process of selling a product in a market. It is the process of distributing a product. You may not realize it, but that's exactly what the narcissist did. The narcissist engaged in clever marketing. They marketed themselves to us using product packaging. They marketed their image to us. They marketed their products, the things that they made you think that they had to offer you. And then they also marketed you a future. The narcissist marketed their false image to you using quite some clever packaging. Did they not? Didn't they wrap themselves as pretty as a bow? Didn't they make you very intrigued to come near them? Weren't they dressed up so nice? Didn't you like what you looked at when you saw them? Didn't you like the way that they presented themselves? Absolutely. 9 times out of 10, they were probably gorgeous, beautiful, pretty, attractive, whatever you want to call it. They were well groomed. They had their hair cut just so. They had their hair dressed and fixed just nice. Their clothes were top tier. They dressed very well, very neat, very put together. They presented themselves in a package. You thought that they were a nice guy, a clean-cut guy, one of the good ones. You thought that you were getting someone of substance, someone of quality. You thought you were getting a classy man or a classy woman for the fellas that are watching. They marketed themselves as a good catch, as your good thing, as what you were looking for. You thought you hit the jackpot, literally. You thought that they were nice and kind, quiet even, but they were actually covert. They were not the same thing as they presented. The contents of the package did not match the outside of the packaging. And this is how they fooled you. They were shiny and new to get you to come over, to get you to look at them, to get you to come closer, to examine them. They got you smitten with them. You couldn't get enough of them. You were already sold before you got to the contents. The second thing that they cleverly marketed to you was their product itself. You thought you were getting a boyfriend, a husband, girlfriend, wife, etc., but that was not the case. You thought you were getting someone financially responsible, but they were anything but that. In fact, they may have even been a gambler. They were completely opposite of what they presented to you in marketing. You thought that you were getting a real name brand product and you ended up with a generic one. You thought you were getting real organic ingredients and you found out that you weren't. They were completely pasty and processed. They talked a good game for their product. They put on quite a commercial. They told you all these good things about themselves, made you think all these good things about them. And you found out when you got down to it, it was completely untrue. You cannot try this product that the narcissist was offering you risk-free. There was quite a bit of risk involved. You thought you were getting someone faithful to the end, but they couldn't be faithful if they tried. They weren't going to be loyal to you. You were not going to be the only customer. You thought that once you brought that product into your home, that product would stay there. And the narcissist would do no such thing. The narcissist would leave the premises. The narcissist would go place himself in other houses, in other pantries, in other bedrooms. That product did not solely belong to you. They presented themselves as a family man, an upstable gentleman, an upstanding member of society. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. They were a real live nightmare, a complete disaster, a damaged product, if you will. They were not a family man. They were going to ignore you to the 25th power. Ignore your household. Ignore your child. They made you think that they would give you lots of attention and lots of affection, but that was not the case either. They didn't give you affection. They gave you abuse, and lots of it. They marketed one product to you and gave you a totally different product after the exchange. The third thing that they marketed to you was a future. This is called future faking. They made all types of promises to you that would never come true. They marketed for you a mansion. They made you think that they were going to work hard and put you in a mansion. That they were going to work hard and the two of you would become wealthy one day. The two of you would be business owners one day. They marketed all sorts of things to make you think that there was actually a future. They made you think that you were going to be happily married ever after. Nothing could be further from the truth. They had no intentions of being faithful in a marriage. They didn't even want to keep their wedding band on. They sold you a dream. They sold you a fantasy. They sold you a package of untruths. They made you think that you were going to Disneyland, but you ended up in the land of destruction. They made you think that you were going to spend a romantic vacation in the woods in a cabin. And instead, they took you wandering around the wilderness for 40 years. They never took you to paradise. Instead, you ended up in a panic room. They sold you a bunch of dreams that ended up being a complete nightmare. They did lots of clever marketing to you, and none of it panned out to be the real deal. It was a terrible relationship between producer and consumer. The narcissist never made good on their production, and they kept trying to consume you. They tried to make you sell yourself short. They tried to sell you short by trying to convince you that what they had to offer was of value, and what you had to offer was not of any value. It was never going to be a fair trade between you and a narcissist. You guys came to the table with totally different things. They only marketed to you. They had no intentions of actually giving you what you deserved. You don't deserve a jingle. You deserve a love song that someone will sing to you for life. You don't deserve for someone to sell you short. Your price is far above rubies. You don't deserve to be on a mass market. Who can find a virtuous woman? You are rare. You don't deserve clever marketing. You deserve for someone to come to you with the truth and to keep it real with you. You are not on anyone's market to be marketed to. You're in a marvelous light.